Good morning, Tom, and good morning, Sherry. I received a telephone call this week from the sister of one of our tenants. Unfortunately, her brother was dying and was currently in palliative care in the hospital. She asked for our help in arranging for the contents of her brother's suite to be cleaned out and advised us that they were going to terminate the tenancy agreement as of the end of the month. This presents an interesting dilemma for the landlord for several reasons. Firstly, landlords and their property managers will usually want to help out in any way possible, especially in difficult circumstances, and this is one of them. But before a landlord can help out, he must ensure that the rights of the tenant are not violated, and he should also ensure that he is protecting himself as well. So what's a landlord to do? If the landlord in palliative care is lucid, the landlord should actually request a letter from the tenant directly saying that they're giving notice to terminate the tenancy and also giving permission to the landlord to clear out the unit and dispose of the contents. You just can't rely on the fact that it's their sister saying, my brother is saying this. It actually has to come from the tenant directly. If the tenant is not lucid, the landlord just cannot comply with the sister's request unless she has power of attorney. As long as the tenant is incapacitated, the landlord must take reasonable steps to protect the possessions of the tenant and cannot take direction from anyone, including relatives, unless they have the power of attorney. Doing so violates the tenant's rights, and it also compromises the landlord's position. If the tenant dies while he's in palliative care, the landlord still cannot give access to the suite to anyone unless they are the executor of the estate. And if the tenant dies and there is no will or executor, the landlord then must call the public trustee, who will then deal with the estate of the tenant. As a landlord or property manager, you must be vigilant not to overstep your bounds in this regards. Sometimes the next of kin will think you're being harsh or unreasonable, and they'll get angry with you, but it is your responsibility as a landlord to protect your tenant's interests. I know it's kind of an uncomfortable subject, but it's an important one to know, so I thought I'd share it. This is Rod Fram for Radio Real Estate.